thank you for joining me. My name's Jo. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator from the UK. So I'm here today for the Global Stampin' Video Hop. We are sharing some really beautiful fun folds with you today. Now, everyone loves a fun fold card, and they can be as elaborate as you want. They're just really good fun to do. So I'm going to show you something quite simple today, but we're going to incorporate a little gift card holder into it as well. So it's something just to get us going ready for the Christmas season, because our new autumn winter catalogue is due to release very, very soon. So I'm going to share a little sneak peek with you today, because I want to show you one of the beautiful suites that we've got in there. There's so many, but we've got to start somewhere. So I'm going to be starting with the Beary Cute set. So this is the stamp set that comes in the set, and then the DSP is called what is it called? Beary Christmas, of course it is. And I'm just going to show you a very sneak peek, but there are some absolutely beautiful designs in here, and I know you're going to love them. So I'm going to show you some bits and pieces, so we'll see how we get on. I'm not actually using the stamps today, and I'm going to show you why in a second. But let's get going. So I've pre-cut a lot of things ready for you. So I'm in the UK, so we work in centimetres here in the UK, but this could easily be adapted for imperial measurements very, very simply. It's not a difficult fold. I've tried to keep it as simple as possible, because we all want to start with something quite simple, don't we? So this is my card base. So I've done a landscape card, and this one measures at the 29.75 centimetres, which is the full length of our A4 sheet, by 10.5 centimetres. So this is just our standard A6 card, which we would make normally here in the UK. So that's my first piece, and that's in Night of Navy, of course. And then I need you to cut another piece of Night of Navy. So this one measures 19 centimetres long by 10.5 centimetres across. So effectively it's the other half of my A4 sheet. If I can pop it like that, this would have been my A4 sheet, and obviously this square I haven't used. But this is 19 centimetres by 10.5 centimetres, and I've scored it at 7.5 centimetres, at 15 centimetres, and then I'm folding it together like a little book like this. Okay, so when you use a paper trimmer, you do sometimes get a little edge on the edge of your card. I just use my nail generally just to run along that, or you can use your bone folder just to get rid of that. It depends on which way you've cut it, and because I've folded this in on itself, I've got one that's a good fold, and then obviously a good cut, and then of course I've got one that's just that little bit raised. So I just run my fingers along them, and it just gets rid of that for me. Okay, so let's start with this part. So this is actually going to be our little gift card holder. So I'm going to start on the inside, and then we'll go to the front. So I want to decorate into the back, so I've got various bits and pieces of card here. So this one measures 7 centimetres by 10 centimetres across, and I'm simply just going to pop this onto the inside here. Now this is going to be my just the decoration really. A lot of this is going to be covered. Sorry, I'm just opening a new glue here. I always like to have a new one when I start recording, because invariably I have struggled. Look at those beautiful paws. It's this is one of those sets where the DSP is so lovely that it's actually heartbreaking to cut it up, but it just means we have to buy a second pack, doesn't it? So excuse me, I'll just clear my throat. So I'm just simply sticking that onto the inside of my little gift card holder section. Got to make sure that that's nicely stuck down. Okay. Now this part is going to fold up, and we're going to glue this into place in a moment. But the first thing I want to do is to use a little bit more DSP. And I'm using this lovely sort of stripy cardigan pattern, I call it, because we see these on jumpers and things throughout the Christmas season. So I love all the different designs, and it's lovely as a whole, but of course you can use this, all the individual little pieces, as as you go on something else. So it's sort of a double whammy really, and I'm going to show you a little bit of that in a moment. So I just want to pop this one onto the front. Look again, so cute. Oh, excuse me. So just remember, if you've got a pattern direction, this is going to be folded up that way. So just make sure that it's in the right direction. So I don't want upside down Christmas trees. Okay, I'm just gonna, I haven't got a gift card, but I have got one of my business cards, an old business card I might add. And you can see it's just gonna pop inside there. Okay, so now that we've done that, I'm just going to add a little bit of glue to either side of these panels. And I'm just going to close it up. And I just want to hold that there for a second. See, I've got a little bit of glue here where I shouldn't have. Find my glue remover in a moment. Okay, and you can see what it does. It creates like a proper pocket for you. So it just gives you that little edge on the sides, which just means that obviously sometimes with a gift card holder you have a struggle getting your card in and out. This is quite thin, but if you've got one of the plastic cards for one of the stores, then they can be quite tight. So it's just a way just to give it that little lift. All right, so we've done that part. I've no idea where my glue remover is at the moment, so I'll worry about that afterwards. Okay, so on this section here, I'm just going to stick another piece of basic white cardstock, because this is, I can put a little message on here if I want to. I can decorate it up if I want to. You can do basically anything you want to. In fact, I'll give it a little decoration in a second. And this is 7 centimetres by 10 centimetres again. So it's exactly the same as the DSP we had at the bottom here. Okay. Now, the other thing in this suite is we have the beautiful Memories and More cards. Now, these are absolutely gorgeous. I absolutely love them. And especially these designs, because you get so much for your buck, really. You get so many different little elements that you can use, and you can really sort of bring something, you know, to life, really. It's lovely. So I'm going to use some of these on here just to decorate on this side. Now I am going to be using a little polar bear, so I'm tempted to use one of those, and I think I'm going to go for this one down the bottom. So when you're taking these off of these sheets, sometimes what can happen is that they're quite difficult to raise, and then you can sometimes split the paper. So rather than do that, what I tend to do is just to get the edge and just bend it, and as you bend it, then your sticker will become loose, and it will come off nice and easy, and you don't have to worry about it. All right, so that's just a little tip. And I'm just going to pop this little man in here. There we go. And then I can write my little message on to this bit here. Okay, so let's go over to the front. I just want to make sure that that is scored nice and tight. Okay, so what I want to do next is to create a front for my little gift card holder. So again, I've cut a piece of basic white, which is 7 centimeters, I believe, by 10 again. Yes, it is 7 centimeters by 10. And I'm going to decorate this on the front of my card. Okay. So what I've done is, from the beautiful DSP, I've actually cut out one of the images. These are so cute. I absolutely love them. It seems a real shame to cut it up, but you have to because they're so cute. So obviously this is a little bit wide, so I am just going to position it where I want to position it, and then I'm just going to trim off these little edge pieces at the side. So let's do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold it roughly where I want it, And then I can trim off the excess with a little bit of overhang. And then I know I'm not going to have all these gluey pieces to the side. I'm just going to add some glue onto here. So I wanted to make this decoration as simple as possible, and the papers and the Memories of More cards are so beautiful that you really, everything's there for you. Obviously I've got the Stampin and everything to go with it, but you can make some beautiful cards. Just okay, so I just want to make sure that's level with the bottom. And then I can just take my scissors and remove these little pieces here. Okay, so this is going to go on the front. I just want to add a little sentiment or something up the top here. So I'm just going to have a look, see what I've got on here. I loved this warm and cozy. I thought that was really cute. So again, I'm just going to bend it very slightly, and I can see that that's going to fit lovely on there in that corner. But I want to bring in some of the red as well, so I'm going to use this little tag at the bottom. So what I want to do, I only want to use part of this. So I'm going to lay my warm and cozy just over the top. So can you see? In fact, I'll take it off and then I can put it back on. So I want these tab pieces to be at the end, and I'm going to line up that point with the edge of my bottom piece. Now I'm not too worried about the direction on this because there's nothing we can do about that really. So what I want to do is I want to sort of trim this into a point as well. So I'm going to start off by just following the angle really of that one there. Just pop that back on my sticker sheet. Now once you've taken them off, they don't stick back brilliantly, so just bear that in mind. Normally I'd try and sort of do it in situ, and then I'm just going to follow that line again and cut across that way. And it's up to you whether you want to sort of make it longer. Actually, I think I might make it a little bit shorter. I'm going to go that way. And it doesn't matter that I haven't cut the other bit because nobody's going to see that underneath. Oh, come here. Okay, so yeah, I'm liking that. I think that's going to look nice up there. But I'm also feeling that I need a little bit of something else. So I'm just going to put that to one side. Hopefully it's not going to stick to anything. And I'm going to bring in one of our lovely new ribbons. Ooh, I'm going to have to bring this one in. This isn't actually from this suite, but this is, what do they call this? The glittered ribbon. Now this is just divine. It is Night of Navy, but it's actually got gold flecks in it. It is so pretty, and it's very sheer, so it's really gorgeous the way you kind of can use it because it's really soft. And I can't get into my roll. There we go. Found the end. There we go. So how beautiful is this? So this is really sheer, but not only is it really sheer, it's it's just, well, it's just so sparkly and so beautiful that I absolutely love it. Now it is quite a wide ribbon, not overly wide. It's probably 1/2 inch, I would say. Yeah, so it's 1/2 inch wide, but that doesn't mean you have to leave it at 1/2 inch. So I'm just going to cut myself a little piece off. Now, because this is sheer ribbon, it is going to fray, so you just need to bear that in mind. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut it right down the middle. Try and keep as straight as you can. It is quite difficult, especially when you've got the little gold bits. because every now and then your scissor hits a little gold piece. Okay, and I'm just going to put it at the edge just very slightly. You might need to use your scissors. And I want to pull out a few of the sort of pieces of... Now again, because of the gold pieces, this is a lot more difficult than it would be if it was just a plain sheer ribbon. But if you can persevere, it can look really pretty. Let's find a pokey tool or something. Tell you what, I've got a pair of tweezers. They're not quite so sharp, and hopefully I might be able to... Ah, this is... There we go. There we go. So I just want to pour some, and it stopped. It is because of the gold pieces in it. It does make it a little bit more difficult. I'm just going to persevere just for 1 second. I don't want to take much off, but I do want there to be like a little fluffy edge on it, if I can. Going back to my scissors. So you need to be a little bit brutal with it. See, once you get going, it's actually fine. I don't want, as I say, I don't want to take too much off. So can you see it's just started to fray at those edges, which is what I'm looking for. Okay. So now that I've done that, we're going to attach our ribbon. Now, I'm desperately looking for glue dots. There we go. So I like to use glue dots for attaching ribbon, just because got gold bits everywhere. Just because it's quite a simple sort of method of sticking it down. But obviously, because this is sheer, anything you use, any kind of glue, is going to show through. So what I want to do is just to sort of get my ribbon kind of where I want it to go, and I'm going to stick a couple of little glue dots. Now, just because I want to be sort of quite precise where they go, I'm going to use the end of my tweezers just to pick them up. And I'm putting them quite close together, because I want my sentiment, when I use my sentiment, to go over the top of this, okay? So, just going to cut an angle on the end of my ribbon. I might end up having to trim this in a moment as well, so don't be too precise. And I'm just going to lay it down. At whatever angle I want to lay it. Okay. Now I don't want it going over little bear's head. I'm just going to trim that, and then I'm going to trim this one as well. Now these are obviously sticky on the back, but that doesn't stop you using your dimensionals. So if you want to add a little bit of height onto it, you can. Sticking to my nails. So I'm just going to grab some dimensionals. See, it's picking up all the glitter and everything else on here. just going to have to hold that up just slightly. I'm going to hang it off the edge just a little bit. There we go. And that's going to pop onto the front here. So cute. And also in this beautiful suite, we've got these most amazing sequins, glitter sequins. So I might have to add 1 or 2 of those in a moment, but they're called adhesive backed glitter sequins, and they're all part of that same suite. So it's a really lovely suite to get lots of lovely little bits and pieces. Okay, so let's go back to my card here. So this is going to go on the front here in a second, but I want to decorate it just a little bit more. So I have taken a piece of basic white, which is 10 centimetres by 14.35 centimetres, and then a part of this beautiful red DSP, which is 9.5 centimetres by 13.85. So just to give it a little white edge, I felt it just needed something just to add, sort of take it away from that background. So I'm going to glue that in place. It's going to go on there in a second, but I'm just going to do the inside as well. So this one I've cut 1 centimetre smaller than our front of our card. So this one is 13.85 by 9.5. And talking about the strips that come off that DSP earlier, now this is a prime example of one of those strips. It just so happened that it came off the piece I was actually cutting. So it kind of it loans itself to sort of go inside a card. So I'm just going to trim that across. Give that a quick glue. And again, this is just going to go inside my card here. If you wanted to stamp a sentiment on it, of course you could. Okay, and I just spotted this lovely blue tree, which I think is going to go really lovely with what we're using here. So no, it needs to go over the top. So I'm just going to pop that over the top. So we've got a nice patterned inside as well. So our gift card holder is just going to glue onto the front here. Now you can see, because we've got these edge pieces here, this will sort of flap open a little bit. But actually I quite like it. If I stick it into place, you'll be able to see what I mean. I'm just going to glue onto the reverse. So this is quite a chunky card. This is probably a card you want to hand rather than post. I'm going to pop that in the middle. But when it's standing up, I'm not sure how I'm going to show you that on the camera, but when it's standing up, although this pops up a little bit, you can certainly see that there's something really exciting inside of that. And I quite like the way that that sort of hangs out the front of the card. It just gives it another little dimension, really, and you can see the picture beautifully on front. However, if you don't like that, you could, in fact, put some little magnets. So you could hide a little magnet under here and under here, and then that would just snap shut. But I actually quite like it the way it is, so I'm going to leave mine exactly as it is. So one thing I promised that we would add is some of these lovely little sequins. So we've got, looks like granny apple green. Not sure what blue that is. It's very pretty though, does it say? It doesn't. And then this whitey sort of colour. So they're really, really pretty. I'm going to use some white ones because the blue doesn't really go with this blue. And it's just going to add that little sparkle. And they're self-adhesive, of course, so just be careful how you lift them. And there we go. So that is our little fancy fold card for today. So we've got a little built-in gift card holder. I'd say once you've got a proper gift card, it's a lot thicker, so it will sit a lot nicer in there. You can write a little sentiment that you want onto here, or you can stamp a sentiment, or you could just use DSP if you wanted to leave it blank. And then, of course, we open our card and then we have our little Christmas tree. So I hope you like that today. Hopefully that will get you started in the Christmas season. I'm really excited about the Christmas season, always am. So no doubt we'll have a lot more coming for you over the coming weeks and months. So thank you for joining me today, and I will see you all again soon. Take care. Bye.